Good evening, everybody. Thank you for coming to our final orchestra concert for Larson Middle School for the 2023-2024 school year. On stage in front of you is the 6th grade orchestra. It's been a while since we've had a performance. It's been a while since you've seen me as I was on paternity leave for our last performance. So since March, we have continued on with the difficulty in our classroom. We've been giving them harder music as we go. And I'll talk a little bit about it, not too much because it does a lot of explaining for itself. This first piece that we're going to play you tonight is called Aztec Warrior. The next piece we're going to play for you is called Gaelic Castle. This one was introducing some new bowing techniques, which you will see. We're putting many different notes into one bow direction, which is new for us in the 6th grade level. So we hope you enjoy Gaelic Castle. So if you couldn't tell, our pieces are getting a little bit more complex in the sense that we're passing rhythms back and forth to one another. There's a lot of alternating, like these guys rest when these guys play. So it's creating a lot of spatial awareness and a lot of listening awareness to more than just yourself, which truly sets music apart from the rest. Being able to do all of these things and listen to all these things, and the right hand does one thing, the left hand does another, and all that fun stuff. So the next piece we're going to play for you is called Celtic Dance. I also would like to draw attention to a couple of things. I know I said it at the December concert, and it bears repeating that this is the largest sixth grade class of orchestra students I've ever had in my last decade here at Troy Schools, which is amazing. Yes, absolutely. Which created an epic problem for Mrs. Murphy and myself as they move on to seventh grade. They're going to be seeing Mrs. Murphy every day as the seventh grade teacher, but all of these students will not fit in one classroom, which is why you brought them here at 6 p.m. and we practiced on stage for the first time together on all of these pieces starting around 6:20. So we appreciate you listening to our rehearsal as you were coming in at 6:40. But we want to thank the Larson administrators. We want to thank our central admin for literally creating another seventh grade orchestra so that these kids, we can fit them all in one classroom, or we'll split them up, we'll fit them in the classroom, which is like unheard of at Larson. We've never, correct me if I'm wrong, Mrs. Murphy, we've never had two seventh grade orchestras. So they'll be playing the same stuff, they'll be practicing together on occasion when we have the space to do so, probably in the gym, I would imagine. I think that's where they can only fit at Larson right now. Moving forward, thank you so much for voting for the bond, because we're hoping that down the line we can get a larger orchestra room that will supply these numbers, because our incoming sixth graders, current fifth graders are equally as big. So thank you so much for supporting this community. Thank you so much for supporting orchestra. Yeah, absolutely. And I just think it's important to draw your attention that we will directly benefit from those things that you vote on. So thank you so much for doing that. Our last piece that we are going to play for you is called Intensity. This was a significantly bigger challenge for these kids, and I gave it to them a while ago, and I thought, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. If not, we'll just play 3 pieces at the concert. And they ate it up. We had to learn new notes, we had to learn new bowings, we had to learn dynamics, which are volume levels, and all this stuff all happening at the exact same time. And I don't know if you notice or have put it together if you're not a musician, we all have to play in the exact same time at the exact same time. So you'll notice there are portions of the concert or portions of the piece where the kids are not playing their particular section. They are counting in their head to the exact same beat as everybody else, which is pretty breathtaking when you consider it's June and they're sixth graders and we are very squirrely right now. We're trying so hard. They are doing so well considering we will be out of here in a little over a week. So I want to thank you so much for your support. While I'm still here and wrapping up, I want to thank Gino and our tech crew for allowing us to use this during the height of dance competition season, live streaming, doing all this stuff on YouTube, because this would not be nearly as cool if it were in the Larson gym. So we really, really appreciate these guys taking time out of their day. And again, thank you so much for supporting your child. Thank you for supporting their practicing habits, even if you thought maybe they were a little bit squeaky or maybe it was a little bit more than just a little bit. Thank you. It gets significantly less squeaky as we go. I promise, because I was there too. So yes, keep saying, play it again, play it again, play it again, because they will, and they'll get better every time. So thank you so much. Our last piece is Intensity by Sean O'Loughlin.
All right, good evening, and thank you for being here. This is one of my favorite concerts because we have a lot of variety in our music selections, and this is a time where I give both of my groups a chance to choose some of their music. So they come up with some suggestions, we bring together the suggestions, and then we vote on what we play. So this group, we've got four pieces, and this first piece, it's not a pop tune, it's not a familiar tune that you might recognize, but it's high energy. They do a really nice job with it, and it's called Voyager. So we wanted to begin with Voyager. Before we play our next piece, I want to like to congratulate the sixth graders. You guys did a fabulous job. And as Mr. Quinn was talking about some of the new skills that they're using, you'll notice that we have built upon those in seventh grade. So just right from the very beginning, you notice that the graders are tuning their own instruments on their own. So, we give an A, and they're able to adjust if it's really close, and they're able to do that on their own. The piece that we just played had various tempos, and they had to be able to follow based on my gestures and based on listening. So they're really learning how to listen and match parts a little bit more. And the other thing that they did, which you may or may not have noticed, is they changed key signatures. So for those of you who have some musical background, you know that they're changing what notes they play, the pattern of their finger patterns, and they're doing that in the middle of the piece. So they're not only changing tempos, but they're changing notes. And they're doing this all at the same time and following me. So they've really grown as musicians this past year, and it's so nice to be able to have the seventh graders every single day because we can learn so many more things. You'll hear later on and see some different skills that they've also added. So the next two pieces, what are we playing? Oh, yeah, right. Okay, the next two pieces that we play are actually pop pieces. You might recognize them from movies or from popular groups I always want to say the radio, but we're not on the radio anymore. What are we on? Amazon Music, Spotify, all those. So the first one we're going to play is a theme from The Hunger Games. And it's a little slower pace, but I hope you enjoy it. So a few weeks ago, we decided we wanted to do a fourth piece, and they wanted to play Moana. Sorry, I ordered it. I ordered all this music, and the one piece that did not come in was Moana. So we'll have to play it next year. But we came up with another piece, and we started it last week because they really wanted to play it. So this is a piece that they've done a great job. They're learning music a lot faster. They're decoding things at a quicker pace. And there's still some tricky rhythms in there because pop music has nothing but tricky rhythms. They almost never are on the beat. So this is Seven Nation Army. Before we play our final piece, I would like to take the moment to thank this group for all their hard work this year. It's been fun every day. They work very hard. We have some jokes here and there. But I feel like their intentions are very good in learning their music to the best of their ability and becoming a better player each and every day. There's a lot of people in this group, and it takes a team to put it all together. But I do want to take this time to recognize a few people that I think come into class every single day, very positive, hardworking. They know their music in advance and ready to play it on the spot. They represent our 4 pillars at Larson each and every day. And I can say that about so many of them, but I wanted to recognize 3 people tonight, so I'm going to ask these 3 people to just come up here, and I'll have a little medal for you. So Megan, if you'll set your bass down. Gianna and Isha. All right, so we have one final piece, and this is Happy from Despicable Me.
While we transition to 8th grade, I'm going to speak directly to the 8th grade parents. You most likely have a child that's continuing with me next year in freshman orchestra. And I provided some packets here next to the programs about our fall camp. We would love to have your child come with us to camp. It is the weekend after Labor Day, September 6, 7, and 8. We take them away to Mishindo, which is where some of them had their 5th grade camp. We take them away to Mishindo and we hire a bunch of coaches and we do a lot of wonderful team bonding things, a lot of wonderful music making. But our goal is to get your freshmen transition to high school as easily as possible. And I think we accomplished that really well. Camp seems to be the highlight of most alumni and graduates. They highlight their camp experience as one of their favorite things. And new for this year, which you would know because you are incoming, but new for this year, our booster program has generously donated a large amount of money so that your child is half off for camp. Just our freshmen only are half off for camp. You are welcome to sign up on our website. AthensOrchestras.com has everything you need. The packet that's here, the music is there, everything that you need. Sign up is open until the end of this month to register. And we would love to have your child there. It's really a fun time. Am I good? Have I stalled enough? Oh boy. Okay. 2 drums and a cymbal fell out of a window. Boom.
Yes.
Wow. Not a 1.
Woo! I don't think they.
Yikes.
All right, so in front of you we have our advanced orchestra. And before we get started, I would like to just point out that 2 weeks ago, it was about 2 weeks ago, this group went to Cedar Point to a music festival where they performed for judges and then competed against other schools from around Michigan and some from Ohio and just close to Cedar Point area. And this was 2 weeks ago, and they played 2 different pieces. And since then, we've learned 4 new pieces that we're going to perform for you tonight. Haven't we learned 4? Yeah, there's 4. Yes. They're looking at me like, see, it's such a blur, they don't even remember. But yes, they've worked very, very hard, and leading up to that performance in Cedar Point, they were practicing every day. They were working out spots so they could polish it up. And the hard work paid off because we came home with not 1 trophy, but 2. And now, it's not just about the trophies, of course. I mean, but it is nice to come home with the trophies. And I was planning on bringing them to display them nicely tonight, but there was like a monsoon earlier, and I just decided they would be safer at Larson. So they are safely at Larson, and we display them nicely in our room. But let me explain to you what they did. They went in at a certain division, so they're at their same grade level. And they performed, and they placed first place in their division, which was great. So they got the highest score out of everybody. But then there were some older groups that also performed that day, and then at the end of the day, they look at all the scores, and they give an overall performance. So who had the top rating out of all of the orchestras? And this is this group. So out of a total average of 100 points, they scored a 97, which is one of the top that Larson has had. Yeah. So anyway, they've been working really, really hard, and after that performance, we did not let down. And this piece, they did choose, they wanted, we talked about it long ago, and decided that they would like to play this pop tune for you, Viva la Vida. So this next piece is a treat. And actually, I guess I've got to talk and walk because I'm going to help the basses out. Yeah, you're going that way. I'll set you up the same way as I did before. So I don't know if you notice bass parts sometimes don't always get the melody part. Not always. This one doesn't. Come this way more. This way. Okay. And so this piece will feature our basses, Gabby and Lizzie. It's called Revenge of the Double Bass. And the basses, so where are my bass players here? Where am I? Okay, and then where's my other bass player? Okay, watch this, okay? We gotta make sure they can see you. Can you put it maybe a little bit? Okay. All right. And you'll notice that the basses have the melody the entire time, and the orchestra doesn't. The rest of the orchestra doesn't, because you'll notice that they oftentimes have the melody and the basses don't. So we reversed roles, and this is Revenge of the Double Bass. So while we're getting back set up for this next piece, I heard a high school orchestra play this at festival one year, and I said to myself, I want one of my 8th grade orchestras to play this. It is a very difficult piece, but it's fun, and I shared it with them, and many of them said they wanted to play it. So we decided we would do a small group of people. Anybody who wanted to learn it could learn it. The group was a little bit bigger than I had imagined, better, which is good, and a lot of them wanted to play. So I said, okay, if you're going to play, and remember, we only had 2 weeks since our last performance to put this together. I said, if you're going to play this, you're going to have to practice every day, 1 to 2 hours a day. Now, I don't know if that really happened, but I know they were practicing. And they would come into class, and they started practicing every single day, and it was great to see the passion and the progress that they've made. So this is a small group, anybody who wanted to do it. So we don't have the whole orchestra, but we have almost the entire orchestra playing it. And this is called Swamp Thang. All right. So before we play our final piece, I have some awards to hand out. A few more here with the 8th graders. I'm first going to start with an award that is given to, hold on, I've got to find it. It's given by the Michigan School Band and Orchestra Association. And they recognize one person from our orchestra that participates in MSBOA activities like solo and ensemble. Obviously, we all are participating in festival. But this person who is being recognized by the MSBOA has really gone above and beyond. They did 2 years in a row, solo and ensemble, 2 events both times. They also participated in, all right, it's gonna give it away. But anyway, so Gabby, you were being recognized. So a couple things. Gabby, if you notice, she plays 2 instruments. So last year, she was in the advanced orchestra playing bass. She also came over to Smith Middle School and played with my advanced orchestra this year on bass because I had no bass player. She participated in the Michigan Music Conference that the Smith Orchestra performed at in a conference in Grand Rapids. She was part of the audition process, so she was on the recording that was sent in for them to be chosen to perform. Gabby was also chosen to perform with the All-State Orchestra, which is an elite group. She had to audition to do it. She got in 2 years in a row, both last year and this year. Out of about 150 to 200 middle school violinists, they choose about 30 in the state, and she was one of those 30 for 2 years in a row. So our MSBOA Scholar Musician Award goes to Gabriella Murphy. I also, Gabby, have a certificate for you. I guess I can give it to you at any moment. So anyway, maybe she got roped into a little bit. I mean, this is for you. It's a certificate from Michigan School Band and Orchestra Association. And then we also have a plaque in the orchestra room that will have her name on it. So this is for Gabby. So there you go. So in addition to that award, I asked the members of this group, I mean, we obviously have all worked very hard this year and dedicated ourselves to excellence, and that was proven with our not only our Cedar Point that I made a big deal about, but at Orchestra Festival this year, they did awesome. We really worked hard to be precise, to clean things up, so that when the judges listen to us, they don't have any reason to take points off or mark us down. And they got a first division rating from all 4 judges. That's 3 in performance and 1 in our sight reading. So they did a phenomenal job all year long. I would like to recognize 2 that are going to receive the Outstanding Orchestra Award. And I wanted to recognize 2. I think both of these people, very involved, very positive. They show leadership in their section. They work hard to be ready in class as soon as possible. As soon as they get their music, they're taking that music home and practicing it. And I think that the orchestra members here recognize that. So I would like to award David Lee and Vivian Brown the Outstanding Orchestra. All right, and then I've just got a couple more. I always like to recognize somebody that I feel has made some really great improvements. And this person that I'm thinking about works really hard, and anytime she has a question, she comes to me, she asks me for help. She stayed after school and worked out things with me. just to make sure that she's doing it right. And I feel like she's made such a great improvement just even this year, but even last year too. So I would like to recognize Bhumika for her excellent improvement. Nice job. All right, and then finally, I've got two more that I'd like to give out. And this is an excellence in orchestra. And though, like I said, everybody plays a part in this group, I think these two people show leadership in their section. The orchestra feels that they have also shown that leadership. They represent our pillars at Larson as well, each and every day. So I would like to give the Excellence in Orchestra Awards to Elliot and Eugen. All right, now for my absolute favorite part of this, we are going to invite all of our, well, we're not going to get them all, but we're going to have a great handful of them. All these wonderful people walking on stage are the alumni from Larson. And they are invited back every year to perform with us our final tune, See You Again. And my hope is that year after year, the number of people who join us to perform this last piece grows. But it's so nice to have them here. As you can, I mean, if you were at the Festival of Orchestras concert a few weeks back or a month back, and Mr. Quinn had all the members of the Larson Orchestra stand up that were in Athens, I mean, my heart was full that day, seeing how many Larson students continue playing their instruments at Athens. It just was such a wonderful sight to see, and it's so nice to see you guys back here. So thank you, and come back again next year and the year after, and when you're really old and I'm no longer here, I'll come back, okay? But I expect you guys to come back too, all right? I'll be older than you, though, by a lot. Okay. All right, so our final selection of the night is See You Again. Afterwards, we're going to let the musicians leave first, if you would, because the sixth graders will go back to the cafeteria and pack up. Seventh graders need to get back to the room, and then they'll meet you back out in this atrium area. So if you just give them a chance to leave the auditorium. I think it's not raining anymore. I hope not, but it's kind of hot. Don't you think it's a little warm? Like... Yeah, I think that it could, a nice cool down with some good ice cream. Sounds good to me. So hopefully I'll see you guys out for some ice cream afterwards. But enjoy. It's been a wonderful year. I can't wait for new things to come next year. Parents, thank you very much for your support. And we're going to end our final piece with See You Again.